Coming up on today's show, we're going to be talking about the controversial nose designs in F1 for this season. We've got the latest from Jerez, including Lewis Hamilton's crash, and we've got naughty tweets. So we thought we'd kick things off this week with a little roundup of what happened last week with all the launches, a lot of team announcements and a few images cropping up here and there of the new cars for 2014. And it all started off with Caterham. We were there as they revealed that their driver lineup for this year will be Kamui Kobayashi and Marcus Ericsson. There was no car, but the drivers were there, so we had a chat with them.
I think 2014 it's going to be, big chance for like me especially, and that's why I take this opportunity.
On Wednesday, it was Force India's turn to reveal the VJM07 car, which is going to be driven by Nico Hülkenberg, who's coming back to Force India, and he'll be joined by Sergio Perez. His old team, McLaren, launched on Friday, but Lotus got in there with a bit of ambush marketing just before McLaren's launch, revealing the E22 with a double tusk nose, a very aggressive nose. It's actually had some trouble passing testing in the crash testing before the season, but they will be on track back in Bahrain, not in Jerez though this week. Lotus kept things exciting by announcing that Eric Boulier is leaving the team with immediate effect, and the question now is, will he pop up at McLaren to replace Martin Whitmarsh? McLaren have their car, the MP429, very, very silver, not a lot of logos or sponsors on there. They are desperately trying to secure a title partner as Vodafone have now left F1. Over the weekend, it was Ferrari that launched their F1 4T car. The name was chosen by the fans and was launched online. A new theme coming into F1, all the teams launching online or at testing, and that is an attempt to try and cut costs. Of course, they've had to spend so much of their budget on these new V6 engines. So what do you think of the F1 4T? Let me know. Sunday, it was all about Sauber, with Adrian Sutil and Esteban Gutierrez making their driver lineup for 2014. And then yesterday, on Monday, it was Toro Rosso releasing the STR9. Very interesting nose there, and we will have more about that in tweets later. But we've all been waiting for today, the start of testing in Jerez, and of course, the moment we all got to see what the reigning world champions had done with their RB10 car. I quite like it, not a bad choice. Adrian Newey, though, saying that he thinks all the noses are very ugly, and he thinks that even the owners of the noses and the cars will not be able to love them. Not a great way to go into a season, not being proud of what you've designed. Mercedes also unveiled their W05 in the pit lane at Jerez this morning, and it's proving to be the fastest car so far, with Lewis Hamilton driving for the first day of testing. The problem was, though, after completing about 14 laps and setting the fastest times, Lewis Hamilton then ploughed into the barriers at turn 1. It looks like it was front wing failure, so the mechanics and the engineers will be working hard to work out what went wrong, and this is the problem with testing this year. The first round in Jerez is all about reliability, not performance. We had Sergio Perez causing a red flag, Kimi Raikkonen causing a red flag already this morning, having to stop their cars out on the circuit. So hopefully we can get those reliability issues sorted out during the first round of testing, and then when we move to Bahrain in the next couple of weeks, they'll be able to focus more on the performance. The big reliability issue is how to cool the air from the turbo from these new V6 engines, and whilst cooling them, also finding the optimum aero performance. And this is something I want to ask James Allen about on Friday with our Hangout. James Allen is going to be joining us on the Hangout. If you want to get involved and ask James a question, email media@polepositionp1.com to secure your place in the Hangout. We're going to have so much to talk about. There's so much that could happen between now and Friday in testing. And of course, we want to know what you think about all these controversial nose designs. So we've got a new strand of Race Room this week. It's what the camera's seen, and my camera has seen this. A little dog trying to get into a shop in Monaco. It was wearing a little bow in its hair and a little waistcoat, and it was going like this on the door. Very strange, only in Monaco. Who knows what you might see in Monaco at the Grand Prix this year if this is what you saw in January during Rally Monte Carlo. Anything is possible in the south of France. And the next picture is this man cleaning the windows opposite our studio. Very, very dangerous. Health and safety would be a nightmare here. He wasn't even wearing a hard hat. So these are the things we've seen at Pole Position. If you've seen something that you want to share with us, something out of the ordinary, doesn't have to be motorsport related, send them in to media@polepositionp1.com. Time for Tweets of the Week. And first up, it's from Tiff Nadell. Formula E, it is attracting some seriously big drivers. Bruno Senna has just announced that he's going to be putting his name up for Formula E. We've already got people like Karen Chandok, Lucas de Grassi, and now Tiff Liddell would like to have a go. Thinking of adding a seniors category. Not sure. I think they want to keep it young, Tiff. Next tweet. Now, this is just one of many rather rude and controversial tweets about these infamous nose designs. You've got the double tusk nose of Lotus there, which I was talking about earlier, and then you've got McLaren's, which has that little narrow protruding section. And obviously, Grand Prix Diaries come up with an absolute cracker, saying that the Lotus car is now pregnant. Yes, I don't need to explain that. Birds and the bees, I think it's all pretty obvious. They're going to be overweight for 2014. Right, next tweet. Yeah, I mean, more about the nose designs. We had hundreds of these. We'd favorited so many, all to do with the nose designs for this year. Yeah, Ollie, I've got to agree with you. It's got to be the top one that's sexier for me. BMW all the way. That Force India one is possibly my worst of all the cars. It is horrendous. What do you think of the VJM 07? Let me know. But I think, yeah, out of these two, it's definitely got to be the top. Next tweet. Yes, on the subject of Force India being my least preferred nose of the year, Adam Hay-Nichols sums it up quite nicely, slightly dubious about his education, but never mind with the communal showers. But yeah, maybe the guys at Force India need to reconsider the hashtag Feel the Force hashtag. Not great, not great. We need to think of something else. We need to have a bit of a chat. Next week. I promised you nose tweets. Here we go. More slightly rude. Anne Summers tweeting saying, so it looks like Toro Rosso have taken inspiration from our sex toy collection. Lovely. I think that just sums up the whole of the F1 season in general. Nice. So this weekend, first round of testing will all be over. We've got loads coming up on the channel. We've got Marc Marquez on a trials bike, and we've got Vitaly Petrov, who's going to be joining Paul di Resta at Mercedes in DTM. Of course, we'll keep updating you on all the testing on our Twitter and our Facebook. So keep an eye on those, and we'll be back for more Race Room next week. See you then. Bye.
So yeah, it might be a little bit different in the races compared to what we used to.
It's very, you know, you look at it and some pictures of it look quite cute and cuddly, and